Hi, and thank you for joining me on the 50th call of TargetedWest.com with me, your host, DJ Chris. And this call is now my personal blood family approved. So if you think your family doesn't love you, go find out because they do. Even if you're being targeted, you still have that support out there. You need to find it. So hello to my family out there. I'm not left or right. I'm apolitical, a man in the middle, and I'm not spewing out any violent rhetoric or asking people to do such. We're a peaceful work group that studies the fourth industrial revolution, and today is the 12th of March, and it's 2023, and I'm in beautiful Lodi, California, and it has been raining nonstop. It's storming like heck, and a lot of flooding going on. So yeah, and I don't have any money in my bank, so I'm don't have to worry about being FDIC. I think I have 127 for the rest of the month, so I should be okay. Definitely not a high roller here. Anyway, today's topic on show number 50 is smart cities, and I gleaned this from Anthony Patch, and Anthony Patch talked in detail about it, so I'm going to share it with you so you don't have to subscribe to Anthony Patch's monthly subscription service to watch his videos. You can get it from me, and then if you're interested, you can join anthonypatch.com and pay the subscription fee and glean information from his conferences and video podcast. And he talks about smart cities. They're popping up everywhere. A lot of it has to do with the light systems or street lights that not only light up the night, but the light itself is a communications method. It's called VLC. It's a visual light communication. And this technology is not new. Believe it or not, there was a invention by Alexander Graham Bell back in the 1880s that does the same thing that the visual light communications or those mini little LEDs do. Not only those LEDs receive, but they transmit data to each other, to the other lights. And it was Alexander Graham Bell that invented the photo phone in 1880. She was using light to communicate from across a building, and they patented it. And I'm sure it's being used in exotic fourth industrial revolution technologies. But did you know that? No one talks about that. Talk about the neurophone, but they don't talk about that. And so these VLC devices can communicate, and what they're talking about right now, the IEEE, is talking about creating MAC addresses, not only for the IoT, the Internet of Things, but the Internet of Everything, which includes biological species, maybe including us, through the brain interface, brain-computer BCI computer interface system that Elon Musk through Neuralink wants to do, which strings tiny copper wires through your brain, and they drill a hole behind you and put a circular device in there, and then it communicates with like that box right there on that corner of my table there. Communicates with that, so you'll be connected. People will be able to see through your eyes. People will be able to make your mouth move, or you'll be able to make other people's mouth moves. You'll be in a hive mind, be able to communicate with other people. But we know this is now because I'm getting the telepathy. And like I said, I'm the man in the middle who's just trying to figure out why I've got these demons or these terrorists in my head that haunt me all day long. And come to find out, my family up in the hills of Santa Cruz had the voices too, and I know my dad did because I asked him, but I didn't go as far as asking if he was actually having a two-way conversation like I am. So that's where we're at. And so smart cities, they want everybody, 75% of the public to live in a smart cities neighborhood. Each city in the country will have 10 million people in each sector, and everybody will be connected to the grid. And when you go outside, these smart lights can not only detect and see you, but they have cameras through the visual light communication and through traditional cameras. They also have a Stingray type program, which is an MC catcher that they use in cell phone interceptions. Police use it. It's by Harris Industries. But they incorporate that in, and so they get your cell phone data, and they have a microphone to listen to the streets to keep the streets safe. Now, do you want to be that safe? Do you think we need that? Do we need to have everyone living in a smart city? So that's the topic tonight. That's the main topic, is smart cities. And this means command and control of humans. Command and control is basically what the military wants to do with humans and devices, and the war theater, which is now our street. Apparently, while we were asleep on our devices and watching TV, they weaponized everything. And of course, it's surveillance now that's the new moneymaker. And watching the street is a way to do something about crime without actually hiring police and going out and being proactive and getting kids in school and maybe getting people in education, getting jobs for people in housing so people don't live on the street or live off the street. Okay. Next topic is Li-Fi. Now, Li-Fi is light Wi-Fi, which is a version of visual light communication. But Li-Fi uses devices in your office above your desk, and it's basically a Li-Fi transmitter, and your little Li-Fi receiver at your desk computer picks up, and it can be incorporated into the lighting of the office space. It could be in a stadium, but you have to have the Li-Fi receiver to make it work. So it's not going to be able to be incorporated into people's iPhones and Androids or laptops or computers right now. But it is being used as a form of network communication, and it's wireless communication using light for data. So that's another thing that was discussed in Anthony Patch's conference, and I'm glad you're here. The crowd is moving up. The room is getting full, and I see all our regular work group members are here, and the chat room is going good. I see Gertrude is watching the Academy or Oscars. And good evening, Setsa. Setsa's in the house now, so the party has started. So Li-Fi is another method of using that technology, and that I just wanted to tell you that too. That's a topic if you want to discuss it. Len Burr and John Kerry Oku on RT.com were interviewing Len, John did, and it is on RT.com, which I didn't know existed because I know they got taken off of the social media platforms and off of TV. So they're still alive and going on their website. So check that out. That's a hot video. Okay, see what time it is now. 10 minutes after 6 p.m. And it's daylight savings time, so you can see the lights behind me again. The sun's out. I've got the windows open, so I can see from my RV here with my fake picture. So next topic is drugs and street drugs, and street drugs that have been turned in, and club drugs have been turned into medicine drugs. And that's ketamine being used for PTSD. There are clinics all over California popping up left and right to prescribe and give a dose of ketamine to people as an alternative to PTSD and a solution to it. And it seems to be working for people. Now, I personally tried ketamine once in a party environment and got sick to my stomach for hours. And then so I knew I was allergic to ketamine. And then when I went and got a slight operation in San Francisco, I guess they thought I wanted to party and take ketamine. And I told them I was allergic to it, and they gave it to me anyway. And I kept throwing up in the breathing pipe, and almost died on the operating table. So that ketamine is not my friend. And now it's being used for PTSD, and they even have a nasal spray now, like Flonase. So you just spray some ketamine. So is that the solution to our mental health problem in the United States, a lack of mental health practitioners, mental health professionals, mental health facilities, except lockdowns, lock people down for 48 or 72 hours for no good reason, just shoot them up with drugs, and then dump them off on the street, usually out the front door of your building. And then the reason you do it is to build their insurance or Medicaid or Medi-Cal. And your mental health system's broken. I happen to be one of the very few lucky people to have a therapist, psychiatrist on speed dial, and being targeted, I need it because this is a slow kill program that I've been put in 2002, and it doesn't seem to be an end. I'm hoping this call and this video you're watching on YouTube, BitChute, or archive.org is satisfactory to you. Please, below, make a like and comment on the bottom of the screen, whether it's BitChute or YouTube or archive.org, and click a like and subscribe, please. So, yeah. So the lack of mental health, so then they're just using street drugs and animal tranquilizers and stuff, because no one wants to sit down anymore and listen to someone talk about their problems, even if they're a professional. That's why there's such a lack of coverage for mental health, and it's a stigma to most people, and most insurances and places don't offer it. They patch you up temporarily, but not like my case. I've had the same psychiatrist for 18 years, and I've been in therapy since 1994 for my immune system disorder thing, which shot me in the head, made me depressed. Situational depression, not a chemical one. So I've been in therapy for almost 30 years. Wow. Huh. So that's probably why I seem to be sorted out and able to speak as clearly as I do, considering the fact that I've got the dreamscape, synthetic dreams all night, and the swearing at me and calling me names and derogatory stuff in my head all day, all the way in the morning, all the way through night. And the only way I ignore it is by playing music. I'm a retired DJ that does it for a hobby now, and I put mixes on Mixcloud.com under mixtracks.com, mixtrax.com, and I play those mixes, or I make one which preoccupies my brain, and I get a relief. And then I play that music until I get tired of it. And I'm not really a big fan of dance music, but it seems to be the only type of music that cuts the V2K out for me. But it's only a temporary fix, and you can only listen to that so long before you go crazy and you want to break. If you listen to slow passages, or I tried listening to Lily's idea of classical music, and the trick is having vocals and a real rhythm and a bass line and all that, but really it has to do with a loud song that's constantly having a beat with a lot of vocals. And it's the words that I entrain into that gets me through that B2K or telepathy attack, which I still don't know exactly how it's being done to me. I still don't know if I'm just crazy and wasting your time or what, but I don't think I'm crazy. Because a lot of what's being said in my head I've never said before in my life, and a lot of things I've never even heard of. I never even knew what an Illuminati was. They kept saying they were. Anyone can say they're the Illuminati, so that doesn't mean anything. It's a parlor trick they're doing to me. So that's my take on mental health and ketamine, and then shrooms. Now it's the shroom boom. I tried shrooms in 1980, and yeah, you're starting to figure out that this little Mormon boy is a weak-bellied man that can't handle drugs because the shrooms made me throw up, and I didn't get any effect from them at all. So I don't remember having any positive effects afterwards. All I remember was my stomach hurting from vomiting. So I developed an aversion to that, as I did with ketamine. So I'm biased and probably don't understand the benefit to microdosing ketamine and microdosing mushrooms, but I'm sure they do have a benefit. But again, it's you're taking street drugs and you're using them for mental health treatment when you're not out there recruiting and hiring and covering through insurances and through grants and funding mental health for the United States, because that's our biggest problem we have right now. What do you think causes all these shootings and all these crazy events? It's mental health, which we're not addressing in the United States or the world for that matter. And with all the stuff going on and this current thing with the local SVB bank in Santa Clara, I mean, people are scared. They're going to lose their money. I don't have any money, so I don't have to worry. But, there you go, the Shroom Boom video. It's a video on my Twitter page, TI Club 3. I started that for the book club, and now it's for targeting. And that's where that video is. There's a video and an article from KCRA on the ketamine. Lenver, the video is on there too. The Li-Fi, there's an article, and the Smart Cities I discuss as a topic has a article there too on Twitter. That's TI Club 3 on Twitter. You can follow me there, and then you get everything directly. Then one more tab here before I go to open mic is Club of Rome, which is an organization that I gleaned through Whitney Webb's book, One Nation Under Blackmail, Volume 1, and she mentioned the Club of Rome, so that's where I got that from. And they're basically part of the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, and it's Sustainable Development. It's an article. It is now 5:20 almost. Turn page here. Old school. Keep my notes. I'm going to switch to open mic. And thank you, Tranquility. I'm going to switch to open mic, and I'll weave in the rest of the topics in our TI Book Club about my new book I wrote. Okay, if anybody have any announcements or urgency, come on the mic.
I have a few comments to make on some of the topics you brought up, and they were very good. The AI used for security, I mean, that's kind of like a false sense of security. Our gangs have been growing in number along with crimes in a lot of areas in the smart city, but I do realize they are trying to push that agenda that, with all the AI and all the cameras. It brings about greater security. But what's so funny is half the time on the news, when they show you clips of vehicles or individuals, the quality of the film that they obtained is kind of like useless because, you know what I'm saying, they always can't get the license plate number, or if they're actually using facial recognition, which is hooked up to everybody's driver's license, it's not working. And then the other thing was, can't remember what year it was, but on PBS, they said they were building robots with AI to assist with the mental illness in the elderly. So that's like another one of the agenda, the psych people are kind of pursuing. And that went far back, too. I can't remember what year, but I'm wanting to say in the late 90s they were already talking about that. Because they were talking about Japan already using robots in their fast food places. And I forgot, what year that was, but it goes far back. And then my last comment, and I'll make it short to other people to talk, is I heard, and I don't know, but you being a DJ might know, Chris, someone was mentioning if you listen to music that has more than 105 beats, it helps deter or lessen the effects of some of the AI equipment.
I agree, and I play my music at 118 to 128, so yeah, it blocks out the V2K that way. The slower the tempo, the voices get in between the beats.
Oh, okay, so you know that already. Okay, well, thanks for letting me share. I'll let someone else share, but very good topics that you brought up.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your commentary. It's open mic. And my next topic is, you want to write this one down. This one's interesting. It's called platequery.com. And if you're on the video watching, I'll put it in the notes. Plate Query, that's PLATEQUERY.com. And you can type in license plates of suspicious cars and parked cars and parked cars that are parked illegally and other stuff on that site. Care to comment?
Yes, sir. I have a comment. Can you hear me?
Come on in.
Hello? Yes. Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. My comment is in regards to the V2K, which I endure myself. And the solution that I came across was, I have this, actually, let me just say this first. I don't really watch a lot of television because I'm attacked through that, and I don't have a home computer, and I put my phone in the freezer and turn it off at night. But one thing I did find, I'm always looking for a solution to all the attacks. And one thing I found that really helped was at the library, I picked up a video, and it was a gentleman who used tuning forks to help people in their environments. The name of the video is The Sound of Silence. But it's not a video. Well, yeah, it is a video. Silence. So what I learned from watching that was I had some toys that belonged to my son, and there was like a little triangle, and a little metal triangle, and a little metal stick, you would call it, and you can clang those together, and that will eliminate the V2K. You will feel all the pressures that they have on your head too. You will feel the muscles in your face actually relax. So I use that a lot to just clear my head from the noise. It's the noise that they put in the V2K. It could be a fan that runs continually or something like that. Whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've had that.
Yes. So I don't have any tuning for it, but that it was actually a musical toy designed for children, works. You can ping it as much as you want, and it will take the noise out of your head. I don't know if you've ever considered anything like tuning forks, but that was very effective for me. And
that's a really good suggestion, and that's inexpensive too.
No, it's not. And actually, my parents are elderly, and they have ringing in their ears and stuff like that. So I've tried it on them too, and they noticed it as well. So it works. And I was thankful for that. And also, I do receive, I'm under electronic harassment, probably, the shocks that you receive at night when you're trying to get sleep, the sleep deprivation. I did buy a motorcycle helmet that was bulletproof, and I did actually sleep in that for a good while. But I think they use some kind of technology to penetrate that, so therefore I don't have that, protection. And I even lined it and taped it with magnets inside of it too. So it's a battle. And I also want to say this, that, the victims, they are the ones that people consider to be insane, or, how could you even speak of such things? It's impossible. We hear all those things. But to me, the real insanity of the whole situation is that an individual would want to do that to another person. That tells me that there is something truly off balance in their own head.
Yeah, they're known as a dark triad personality, which is narcissism and two other traits, lack of empathy, and another one.
Yes. Well, so, and with myself, it's like my relationship with Jesus Christ and God sustains me. And through these trials of this, what I consider torture, I have seen Jesus Christ come to me in these moments of just how he has taught me many things about the brain that I never even thought about, and how he has showed me things that I am able to do through my prayer and communion with him to overcome the attacks. And I'm so thankful for that. So I give him the glory. And I have a much more deeper and intimate relationship with him through going through this, and just the things that he has shown me and taught me. And I do have another question.
Go ahead.
My question is, are you familiar with, there is a word for it. It's a very long word. It's spelled something like MAG. I've got my documents. I've, spent some time at the library just determining the reality of this and how it all came to be. And there is documentation on all of it, the V2K, everything. And I have several papers on it. But there is one that it's a thing that they do to your eyes. Are you familiar with any of that?
Well, I know they can see through your eyes, and I talked to someone on the phone where they make their eyes blink.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. They use their eyes, actually. Let's see. I can pull out my papers and find it because it's written on a special paper. But anyway, what it is they put these circles on your eyes, and they to me it's part of the high frequency ear vibration. All of it kind of coincides with each other. It's almost like even if I went in the room and had a place to get away from them, I would not be able to because of the circular things that they put on my eyes. And these things will change colors, and I can move them if I can move them off of my eye or move them to the side, but it takes a tremendous amount of concentration, and I do that. But I do remember reading about this particular thing, and it said, do not try to remove them. I don't know what would happen if you did try to remove them. I don't know.
You don't want to remove anything from your eye. That's not a good idea at all. No,
right.
I don't
well,
have
actually,
that
you can't. Okay, let me just say this: you cannot move them off. Believe me, I have tried. They can't. I can move them over to the sides, but I cannot move them off. And then I looked at like the way the brain and the eye are connected, and it's like it doesn't run like straight into your eye. Sometimes it sits on an angle. It's almost like a triangle, and that way it can go from one eye to the other, which I know sounds pretty crazy, but it happens. It happens to me, and if you just give me 1 second, I can pull up the name of it. And I have, let me see. Okay.
Well, Dr. Kildee talks about it, and a lot of it is a silicone microchip on your optical nerve, which sits behind your eye. A lot of times if you push the skin around your eye, especially around your nose, you can see the light, but you're actually moving your optical nerve that sits behind your eye. And no surgery required for it, but there's other ones that explains it besides Dr. Kildee.
Do you know anything about the removal of them, or no?
No, all I know is your optical nerve is thinner than a piece of hair. If we could have it removed, we would. A lot of the equipment, I haven't found a doctor yet that will remove it or even admit that it exists there. But there's other doctors on the internet. Dr. Kildee passed away, I believe, in 2015, 17. I can't remember now. But there's more than her that talks about it. But that's basically what it is.
Okay. All right, I have it right here.
And then one more thing is every doctor that sees you, that looks into your eyes, knows about it, because she was a former medical center director in Finland, and they were training back in 2000 every new resident about this AI equipment, including the silicone chips that ride on your optical nerves. So you better believe if us, China, and Norway are the leaders in cybernetics, and Finland was telling all their doctors in 2000, you better believe every doctor in the United States knows about your silicone chips on your optical nerves.
Okay. All right. Well, I have found the word that they give it. It's I'll spell it. It's the first portion of the word is magnet. OPHOSPHENES. It says they are attributed to nerve or sensory cell depolarization in the optic nerve or retina, or caused by electric currents induced by head or eye motion in the applied magnetic field. And it's called metemphasis, whatever you call it, are flashes of light that are seen when one is subject to a changing magnetic field, such as when in an MRI.
Well, thank you for that information. I need to move on to the next topic.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
I was just wanting to know if you knew anything about it. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
God bless you, and thank you. And please come back anytime. This is the Sabbath call, so you're always welcome. God is respected here. I was just going to talk about the big fish in the pond, and that's the SVB bank, and how everyone's on the internet going on about the banks are all going to fail and everybody's going to make a run on their bank. Well, I don't have the money to run on in the bank, so I'm not going to have to worry about it. But this is just the craziest topic. It's completely taken the internet over. So do you think this is a entrance into making everything the digital currency they want?
I would say so.
Yeah, me too, because they're making this big dramatic event, and then they're going to probably switch us to the digital currency, the central bank digital currency, CBDC format.
Mhm.
And that way, if you go to buy something you don't like, they don't like you to buy, or if you don't follow the rules, they cut your money off.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Chris. They create the problem, and then now they're going to try to solve it to forward their agenda.
Because that's what they want, that CBDC, yes, real bad.
Well.
So that's one topic, and then next topic will be my new book I finished writing. It's published, and that's a TI book club, which we meet at this time. But before I talk about my book, there's a free book that you can get by Julian Huxley, that's Aldous Huxley's brother, called New Bottles for New Wine, and the link is on my Twitter page. But it's at archive.org, and it's called Julian Huxley's New Bottles for New Wine, and it's in 1957, and it is about, believe it or not, hold your horses, are you ready for this? Has to do with transhumanism in 1957. So what is Aldous Huxley's brother, Julius? I think he's part of UNESCO back then. What are your thoughts on that book? It's a free download, part of our book club. You can join the book club if you're on video watching on your platform at bookclubs.com/TI book club /join/ and you can join our TI book club. You don't have to be a TI to join. You just click and join, and you'll get updates from me and when I'm reading books, and people make comments, and we get new books all the time, and we're always looking for books. So if you have a suggestion for a book and you'd like to contact me, please send it to me at djchris@targetedwest.com. So that's Julian Huxley's book. What do you think about that, guys? Transhumanism in 1957. So that's what they've been thinking about. I know they wanted cybernetics for 100 years. They want to be able to access people's thoughts in their mind and control it, and have social control and political control. And they had the correlation machine, and they now we know can hack brains. So what do you think? open mic. Or if you have another topic or a discussion, come on in. Or if you have an announcement, come on in.
I concur with you.
Thank you. Well, you're part of the work group. We all think alike. That's why we're here. It's a good group. And I know you guys are really good at sharing information, so I appreciate that. And it's our 50th call. So again, that's Julian Huxley, New Bottles for New Wine, and the free download is at archive.org, and that's Transhumanism in 1957. Next is TI Book Club, and my book that I just finished writing, which is a fictional book by DJ Chris. It's now on Amazon.com, and it's basically a fictional romp of the hills of Santa Clara Valley, which is now Silicon Valley, and it's about going all the way back to 1899, and you can buy it now at Amazon.com. You just go to Amazon and type in targeted individual, and it'll pop up, or you can type in The Hills Have Ears by DJ Chris, and it'll pop up. And it's $3.29, and it helps pay my website and the costs of operating my TI Book Club when I buy books and such, and helps pay for my Mixcloud thing, so I get HD quality and I can share my mixes with people so they can get V2K relief if that's how they choose to get relief. It helps. It doesn't cure it. So again, that's The Hills Have Eyes by DJ Chris. It's in the TI Book Club, and that's the book today, and it's about my grandmother, who is a card shark and runs illegal card operations up in the hills in moonshine, and had the revenuers come visit her, and she shot up their car with a Winchester shotgun, and they ran off and vowed to get even, so they used V2K and dreamscapes on her back in the 50s, according to my fictional book. So it's a real fun book if you're older and you want to go through the history of World War II and all that, and talks about the vineyard where Vito lost his son and all these different things. It's pretty interesting. And at the end, you know, I can't tell you how the end goes because there's going to be a part 2 called The Farm. The farm hasn't ended. You know, if something happened to it, I can't say, but the farm's not done. She still has the farm. So the next book in the series will be The Farm. And again, that's TargetedWest.com for more information. That's my website. And you can go there and find out more. You click down on info block. So that's the end of my talking. Next week will be Katie. We'll be interviewing. She's a former reporter from CNN, and she's a journalist. There'll be show number 51. So Katie will be interviewed, and we'll be discussing Bell's photo phone that I talked to you about. So that's all I have, and we are recording. So if you have anything you'd like to say on the recording for the next 15 minutes for posterity, which will go to archive.org, say it now, open mic. Anybody new? Anybody a wallflower that wants to say hi? Any announcements?
I just want to say thank you for the call.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm here every Sunday. Come on back anytime.
Okay. Thank you.
We're going to go over to the chat room, and they are going hot and heavy about the big crash tomorrow. I don't think there's going to be a crash, and I'll tell you why, because the average person doesn't have a lot of savings. So, and the rich people aren't going to move their money around. They should have diversified in the beginning. You don't keep everything in one bank. So, they'll continue to be rich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sean, I agree. Sean in the chat room is the shy. By the way, if you come into the call here, which you can access through TargetedWest.com, you click on call link right in the center of the page under my mug, and you can join in. You don't have to talk. You can just sit in the back and type in the chat room, and you don't have to say anything on the call. We don't have attendance, or I try not to say the names of people on the call. That way you have some, privacy.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Privacy.
Which we have very little of anymore. So at least we have a little here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my caller 00, which hugs to you, my disco friend. He uses disco as therapy, and I play disco in my DJ mixes, which is, the devil satanic music of the 70s, which actually ended up being a cute little bunch of tunes, and now people love it. But I remember when discos were big and everybody was drunk and on cocaine and wearing angel flights and shoes with goldfish in them and staying up all night and trying to go to work the next day. I remember all that. I was too young for that, but I remember that because my dad had a dry cleaners, and we used to get all those disco angel flight suits, which were a dream to clean. They were all nylon.
Hey, DJ, it's Steve in New Orleans.
I was wondering where you were. Hey, Steve in New Orleans. How are you?
You can always mention my name. I don't mind.
Yeah, Steve from New Orleans.
Don't you think that these new driver's license with the chips in it are just another way to track us?
Most people are easily tracked because they carry that cell phone around with them, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Why do people need to have a phone with them every minute when everybody around you has a phone, and if something happens, 10 people are going to all call anyway?
Right.
I don't bring my phone with me. When I leave my phone, my cell phone, literally, if I point this way to the back of the RV, it's on the window near where I store my cat food. I don't even touch it or use it, and I never take it with me. And all I have is a crappy burner phone in my truck, so I could dial 911 from the truck or call home in an emergency. But I don't walk around with a cell phone. I don't think it's cool to have that look. And I know a lot of people, younger people especially, think of it as a fashion accessory, and it is indeed, Steve, a tracking device. So your driver's license is just one thing that can be tracked. And yes, of course, that driver's license can be tracked, especially the real ID one is going to track you across the United States.
Right.
I wanted to say something about the phone and why I feel I carry mine with me. Some of the reasons is, one reason is jobs. Like, if my boss needs to call me for some reason, I get that call. Like, I have a job where I might need to run over to my job and do something, or there might be an update or a change or something. And I also carry my phone with me because I have other people in my family that I'm like, oh, what if there's an emergency, or what if somebody needs me for a ride, or what if somebody gets sick, or, so that kind of thing. I don't have a phone at home with an answering machine. So I, that's all to keep in touch. It's certainly not for me a part of my look, and I really don't like it either. I'm frustrated that I feel like I need to have it, like in case somebody needs to contact me. But it's definitely a catch, I'd love to leave home without my phone like I used to, where there was just a phone at home and you called people and then you left the house. And that was it. But it's like you can't even get a job without, using a device. And so it's part of our new world in which, that's how I've joined the new world. It's not really my choice, but it's how the world is functioning right now. If you want to find a place to live or a house or all that official stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to give my opinion on that subject. I really don't like my phone either because it has 5G capability, and it seems like I can't really, or maybe this one doesn't, but they're making it so, they're just kind of funneling you to it, sort of.
Yeah, and they know you need that phone, and that's why they do it.
Yeah.
For myself, I find that if I have my phone with me, it seems to be an easier attack on me. So what I do is I used to put it in the microwave, but that didn't work so well after a while. So I turn it off and put it in the freezer at night, and then I'll check it in the morning, and then maybe through the day. But I try to stay away from it or keep it away from me. But I know you do have to, keep in contact with other people. So, but I don't like it, So
I didn't know you
freeze
could
it and check
freeze
it.
your phone. So are they okay being phones are okay if they're frozen?
Yes. I freeze it at night and even during the day sometimes. Now, I will say this, if you take it out, take it a few minutes to kind of thaw out, and then you might, if you make a call and the call doesn't go through, then turn it off and turn it back on, and it will pick up.
But for me, I have to drive maybe 20 miles or so to get where I'm going. And so another reason I just thought of that I have my phone with me, which is ridiculous, really, because, the point he was making about there's phones everywhere. But I feel like, what if I needed to call someone? What if I was in an emergency? Also, it's got my everything, say I left my phone at home and I was out in the world and I had some kind of emergency. All my friends' phone numbers are in my phone and, my email. And so I don't even have a laptop in my life right now. It's basically my only thing. So, but
hey,
I really don't like it.
I bring my phone, but I don't have the battery in it unless I need it.
They can still get you without the battery. They can get you without the battery, by the way. I just found that out.
By the way, I have been unable to find a phone that the battery comes out. My battery does not come out. So some of them, they just make it, you can't remove the battery.
You have to get a phone. You have to get a phone that, mine's called a hot pepper from the government. $37.
I'll
It's
flip
as big
phone.
as my Note 3 when I had a Note 3, Galaxy Note 3. This is the same size of it, and it was $37, and it does everything.
Yeah, I have a cheap Android phone. I don't use it. I just don't. I used my laptop, so I have that advantage. And I'm a senior, and I don't work anymore, so I'm biased on that and didn't think about that. But my family does call, but they leave a voicemail on my cell phone. And then if I have an emergency out on the road, I have my little burner phone in my truck.
And where did you get your phone?
My burner phone's from QVC. I get one every year. I don't call it a burner phone. It's a temporary phone. I get a new one through QVC every year for like $58, and I keep it for a year and buy a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone out there that has a cell phone they carry with them, but they also carry a Faraday bag? Is there been any?
I've used the Faraday. I tested the Faraday bag and it got through. For some reason, yeah. Well, I haven't tried several Faraday bags yet, so that's a possibility.
So I'm wondering what they stop. Can they stop any signals? I don't know.
Just put your phone out and do like they do on Better Call Saul and put the phone out in the mailbox out front or somewhere. Leave it in the car and go in the house. That's what, I know it's a horrible world we live in where we're being surveilled and monitored by our government and whomever else for whatever reasons, mostly nefarious. And it's not benevolent, it's malevolent in nature. Nothing's malevolent in our defense or for our gain. It's always against us. We're always being surveilled. What do you think?
I wanted to say one more thing about my phone, which is after I leave my mountain house and I'm gone, like I was just gone for a day, and I come back home, it takes quite a while for my phone to work again. So it literally feels like it's following me, and my phone shouldn't work at my house. I don't pay for internet, and I shouldn't be picking up anyone else's, but I do. But there's like about a 20 to 30 minute lag from when I get home, so it's very weird.
I have a
suggestion. Go ahead. We only have 3 more minutes left of the show, but go ahead. If you can wrap it up in 3 minutes, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to take 1 minute, actually, maybe less. I set mine, turn on a radio that's plugged in, and so so whoever's listening to my conversations can't hear me because the radio's playing in the background. So, but I can still hear the phone ring when I need to get to it,
That's a good idea. It's a smart idea, actually. Yeah. Plus, you put on your favorite music or talk. Yeah, well, I like talk radio.
Oh yeah. Yeah, whatever you use, it's just music. It's like it's drowning out anything else that they're trying to pick up somebody talking. So I like that. That's the only reason I put music on for them. So and it's actually in a different room, but I'll still hear the phone ring.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a question. Speaking of music, are you familiar with Van Morrison? His song?
Yeah, The Long Con. That's the theme of my call. I almost put it on today, but I put it on Eye in the Sky. But I have that song on my. I'll put it on next week for you on the hold music. Yeah, I have that record. I'm a targeted individual being caught in a long con.
Yeah. What's the name of the album that it's on? Do you know?
I don't know the album, but it is an album, and all the songs have to do with targeting. And just go Van Morrison's new album and put The Long Con. You'll get the other ones.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We got one more minute left of the show, so let me wrap it up. Thank you for watching us and listening on BitChute.com and YouTube.com and Archive.org. We'll be back next week on the 19th, and we'll be interviewing Katie, former CNN journalist and commentary person, and we will be talking about various technologies, including the phone that was being used by Alexander Graham Bell in the 1880s that used light to communicate. So we'll be discussing all that. Thank you for watching, and we're going to turn the recording off. Thank you.